Missed an episode of your favorite podcast? Choose from over a decade of content in our archives, not just the latest episode. All free at GCNlive.com.
This is your call to action. Get prepared, America. Economy, survival, energy, disasters. This is USAPrepares.com. Informative radio, educational radio. Interact now by emailing instructor@USAPrepares.com or text at 434-390-7953. Class, please take your seats. Now, your instructor, Vincent Finelli.
Watch the greenbacks tumble.
Everyone all set, cocked, locked. Here we go. Your dial set correctly to USAPrepares.com. We broadcast 2 hours from high atop the Missouri Ozark Mountains. If you'd like to call us, we'll pay for the call, 866-582-9933, 866-582-9933. Dr. Richard Allen Miller is with us today. Welcome, Dr. Richard Allen Miller.
Good morning, man. Good morning. You know, it's interesting. I just, when I was hooked up with your new front end, everything was perfect. And when I went to you, the reception and signal went down again. And it's not you. I don't know what's really going on out here. It's
Rick, you want to?
It's almost like an intent, but I can't prove it.
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean. We had months and months and months of dropouts, drop-offs, disconnects, blank, dead air, all kinds of things. And I was, at one time I was broadcasting, speaking into the microphone with a telephone receiver handset, talking to that microphone at the same time, and whichever stream worked best, that's, whatever the audio, that appeared to be best at that second, is the audio that went out. And I remember calling in, right after being disconnected, and yeah, it's a challenge, and the more
it's worse than a challenge. I can't prove anything. It's always done in such a manner that you just quite don't have all the proof you need to confirm for your consciousness that you need to do this or that. It's unsettling. I think they're about to pull the plug. I think many, many different aspects of conspiracy are coming to a head, and I think we're about to see the ugly demon's head shortly.
Mm-hmm. Well, today's broadcast
deployed lithium in a Navy test in Reedsport, Oregon this last week. It worked, and the citizens of that small town are toxic now with lithium poisoning, and the whole thing was a new weapon for controlling a small city that might be in unrest, and they tested it on Reedsport. Some of it drifted. I'm going in later this week, probably Saturday, to get blood panels and other blood tests to see what's in my blood. I am going to validate or not and try to confirm as best I can or not what is really happening to me physically down here. Good luck. It's subtle.
Rick, years ago, back in the 1960s, 1970s, there was this testing of subliminal messaging. Movie theaters, and what they would do is they would flash on the screen for a very, very brief moment of time. Almost, you couldn't see it, but your mind could pick it up.
Well, you pick it up, but you don't register it consciously,
right.
Which means it's data input, but not consciously realized.
Mm-hmm.
We work like that on a lot of functions,
So what was done is, let's sell more toxic soda. Let's sell more overpriced soda and snacks to these people who are sitting in the movie theater seats. And it was done subliminally so that we wouldn't know what these thugs were up to. And it was back then maybe even an embarrassment to try to steal more money from us. Okay, we pay for the movie theater ticket, and if we wanted to eat popcorn, overpriced popcorn, and have an overpriced soft drink.
Yeah, what is that
bar.
anyway? When you go to a theater, you're actually spending more money on food that you would never dream of going to a store and eating, and yet going to a movie theater, it has somehow become socially correct. And now I see people walking into the theater carrying both arms full of something. I mean, big bags, not bags, big bags of what? Popcorn? Toxic popcorn. I don't get it. And they would never dream of going to a Safeway store and coming out with that bag. How does that work?
Right. And
they have been culturally programmed that when they do a certain kind of event, these are the things that they also do, like foods that they would eat that they would never dream. Like going to a football game, you would eat a hot dog. And I remember when the two scientists were walking down the hall, and the one scientist said to the other, "Where are we going to put all our nuclear waste?" And the other one said, "Well, we could put it in a hot dog. It's a known fact. The American public will eat anything in a hot dog." The Jungle by Upton Sinclair. There it is.
Yeah. Well, Rick, the point is that this deception used to be an embarrassing kind of a thing where the people trying to con us into paying for these overpriced treats, if you will, it was embarrassing.
Yeah.
So they did it without our knowledge.
That for you, please.
Yeah. So they did this without our knowledge. They had these subliminal messages to try to steal from us at a greater rate. And then, we started to catch on, and then it became open. They would just have commercials. You'd go to the movie theater, and then you would have a commercial or two or three.
Well, they're doing that. I mean, really, they are. Before they even start with the previews and the cartoons. What happened to my cartoons? I used to go to a movie just for the cartoons.
Well, what I'm saying is this thing that's happened in America, this marketing, which is getting people to do what they would never do. Okay?
In a different situation. That's correct, yeah.
That's what marketing has become. It's deception. It's fraud. It's theft. It's a behavior. It's tricking people. It's manipulation. That's what I consider marketing. So now if I meet someone who says they're in the marketing department, I'm thinking this guy is a thug. I mean, that's what comes to my mind now. So we used to have subliminal messages.
Yeah, we have weightlifting centers all through Grants Pass, for getting fit. And then we have the Club Med. And the Club Med has people that will greet you at the door. "Oh, you're a new member." Their incomes are how they can scalp you into paying a higher amount for weightlifting in a social media situation like a meat market, where you're there to meet people your own age that are also struggling to get weight off them. It's crazy social behavior. And my girlfriend went to California to visit her folks and saw the difference between California and Oregon. Up here in Oregon, most of us are not driven to make money. It is not about having a Lexus or a Saturn. It is about having trees and green around you. In L.A., it's totally different. The values are different. You can watch this woman in a huge gas guzzler get out, and she is as trim. She probably puts more time into her body trying to sculpt it than she does. It's nuts. The value differences in locations on where you choose to live. And I'm going to suggest that this is on all fronts, and one of the reasons why I no longer have a TV. I don't. I watch Netflix or I'll get videos, but I don't watch serials unless I do it on Netflix or something like that. NCIS. like if you were to watch X-Files, how much is the movie that you're watching in a 1 hour period, and how much is breaks in advertising trying to break through your consciousness? And how do they break that movie to lead you toward going to the kitchen for a minute or the toilet? It's interesting. They have you programmed. That is one of the things regarding mind control that we did in the 70s.
Mm-hmm. And that's today's topic at usaprepares.com. Rick, I have seen a bunch of episodes of a series on Netflix called Legends. Have you seen it?
Yes, I have seen a few on Legend.
And I was thinking of you as I was watching this with Mrs. Finelli. I was thinking of you, the manipulation of people to get them to do things, and they have this.
I have 3 books I have written on video feedback systems, not bio feedback, video. How to use sound and light and imaging to talk directly to neurotransmitters in the brain rather than through the conscious volition of the, cerebral cortex and the visual cortex regions of the brain. We bypass those and go directly to trigger points and release specific neurotransmitters, causing you to have behavioral changes. One of the things we have never discussed is brain fingerprinting and the fact of P300 waves and the idea that the brain is actually, in the way it functions, is even more unique for each individual than your fingerprints are. And they are now using that in a large supercomputer to predetermine what your next word is going to be. That was a patent that Joey sent to you and me yesterday. It's been out since 2001. That patent has, by just the way the brain is functioning with normal sections of it in the occipital region of the cerebral cortex, you know what word is going to come out of that person before that person even utters that word. Now that's your J2.0 software and the idea of predicting intentionality via a supercomputer, Skynet. This is where we're going.
It's very interesting that you say that, and we talk about Joey. We're talking about Joey from Michigan. He's a USA Prepares instructor. And Joey and I talk often on the phone. And it's uncanny, absolutely uncanny, Rick, because when we chat on the phone, he can start a sentence, just start it with a few words, and I know what the rest of the paragraph is. And when I start a sentence with a few words, he knows what the rest of the paragraph is. And it's not like we're in an endless loop where we keep saying the same thing over and over and over and over again. These are new topics. Quite fascinating. Rick, when we get back, can we talk about how we're being programmed? How many of you want to learn how to dig up bugs, worms, and raise crickets for food? Do you prefer to eat them dried and crunchy or while still alive? Well, you won't have to if you can defend your food supply from predators. You may want to get an AR-15 kit from guns80.com and build your own AR-15 rifle from a kit. If you can legally own a rifle, you can purchase this AR-15 kit. If you're handy, you can complete the rifle in about an hour. The kit comes with all the parts you're going to need to build your rifle, but you'll need a drill press. And survivalists need one anyway. The Guns80.com team purchased the same used floor-standing drill press that I have for $100. You can too. And when you're finished, you'll have a paperwork-free AR-15 rifle, a drill press, drill bits, and the knowledge to maintain your AR-15 rifle, all for less than you expect. So if you want a paperwork-free AR-15 parts kit like mine, visit Guns80.com, Guns80.com, and let the unprepared have our share of the bugs.
At 30dayfoodsupply.com, 2 of our top priorities are providing quality food at a reasonable price and protecting your security. When you call 800-700-2184, we will never record your phone call and never ask for your personal information, like how much food you have stored or where you keep it. We'll also never store your credit card information and email address on a computer. Your email address will never be shared or sold. We'll never limit the number of boxes you can purchase. We'll never use outside packers or use relabeled food from another company. Our meals are naturally high in fiber, carbs, and protein. testing, and everything is packed with oxygen absorbers and Mylar pouches under our direct supervision at our plant in Oregon. Oregon Trail Foods and 30dayfoodsupply.com keep prices low by buying directly from their producers in Oregon and then passing the savings on to you. Call 800-700-2184 and purchase our 30-day 90-serving emergency food supply for only $99, and $10 ships your entire order to the lower 48. Visit our website, 30dayfoodsupply.com, or call 800-700-2184. That's 30dayfoodsupply.com at 800-700-2184.
Attention USA Prepares listeners. When you're on the road or have limited data or Wi-Fi, now you can listen to USA Prepares unfiltered and untapped at no extra charge on this non-federal phone number, 1-605-477-3249. Try it now to listen to USA Prepares 24/7 at no extra cost or data charges. These are not on federal lines. These are lines located on Indian reservations off the grid. Call 1-605-477-3249. No smartphones or internet needed. To hear USA Prepares untapped and off the grid, just call 1-605-477-3249.
With the many stock market ups and downs over these last few weeks, many people are asking themselves, are they doing the right thing? Do they have the right financial plan in place? Here's the real question. You should be asking yourself, do you have the right financial professional in place? Well, my friend Rocky DeFrancisco, attorney and founder of the Wealth Preservation Institute, has authored a new book called Bad Advisors, How to Identify Them and How to Avoid Them. In this book, you'll identify financial planners who are forbidden by their broker-dealers from giving you the best advice. You'll understand why most CPAs, EAs, and accountants don't even provide proactive advice to help you save for your taxes. And, of course, you're going to identify insurance agents who are forbidden from selling you the best products available in the marketplace. Don't wait. Don't hesitate. It's only your retirement dollars. And for a limited time, we're going to give you the free ebook version of this book, Bad Advisors, How to Identify Them, How to Avoid Them. Call right now, 888-772-2929. That's 888-772-2929. Take control of your financial lives today.
We use mobile devices right against our bodies every day, but growing scientific evidence has emerged showing serious health risks associated with exposure to EMF radiation emitted from these devices. The solution is Defender Shield, the most effective mobile radiation shielding ever developed. Defender Shield blocks virtually 100% of EMF radiation from cell phones, tablets, and laptops, and starts at just $64.99. Buy now at DefenderShield.com. For 10% off, use promo code GCN. DefenderShield.com, the worldwide leader in mobile radiation shielding.
Dr. Richard Allen Miller's with us, DocRam.com. Rick, you know I don't have a cell phone anymore, and I'm very concerned about the technology. I'm very concerned about the electromagnetic radiation and the tracking and the spying and all of those things, and the endless recording of conversations and texts and so forth, and even messages that people may leave for me that I don't want to be left. I mean, somebody could call and say, "Hey, Vinny, listen, the plan, to destroy that thing, we talked about."
Yeah.
We could be talking about, a tree stump, but I don't want that. So I don't have a cell phone so that can't happen to me, and manufactured evidence from a cell phone can't be used against me. So I'm concerned about that. Now, in addition to that, Rick, I'm concerned about the use of these technologies to monitor our biological functions. So, for example, there are people who are wearing these wristbands. The wristbands communicate with their phones. Hey, you want to know how healthy you are? Well, your wristband will communicate those signals to your phone, and then you'll know how healthy you are. Well, so can other people know how healthy you are. So we know where you are. We know your current state. And maybe we could, if you're a problem, maybe we could target you with pulsed microwave frequencies to cause that heart attack that you desperately need, right?
Well, that's what Jeff Wentz suggested happened to him when he had that terrible accident a few months back. You remember he was nearly killed where he was driving along, and the next thing he knew, the police were pulling him out of his car unconscious. He woke up in a hospital. There was a device that was apparently put in his vehicle, and there were witnesses. I have the police report where a truck came up behind his accident, removed something before the police arrived. It is a small device, probably the size of your hand, and it will set out a small ELF spike pulse like a weapon that would take out the grid, only what it does is it takes out an individual. Now, that device existed. What it does is it throws you into a ventricular fibrillation. It has a pulse on it that will set up a standing wave on the heart and cause you to have an artificial heart attack and or stroke. And so this device is using microwave band pulse, small, low, and amplitude. In other words, it's not a very powerful device. Has to be inside a car, and a truck or car needs to be within so many thousand meters in order to activate it. Now, I don't think they've gotten it to the point where it's activated from a satellite. I don't think so yet. But you can count on that being next. And, or cell towers doing the same thing. The studies that I did originally out of anesthesiology in the early 70s all began when Alan Frey at Willow Grove discovered man had another sensory motor input. We have lots of sensory inputs, that, like eyes and feelings and, nerves. We have ways of taking data in from the external world that we're not conscious of, one of which is in the 0.3 to 3 gigahertz. And today, that has become the first weapon that is deployed whenever we go into another country like Iraq to invade it. It's called Commander Solo. S-O-L-O. You can look it up. And basically it's a single aircraft that will have a supercomputer, usually 358 computers heterodyned into an algorithm that can send out a very complex pulse wave that is called cloning emotions. They can make a print of your brain when you're depressed and feed that information back to you and cause you to go back into that same brain entrainment. I write about that in Power Tools. And so this is something that existed in the 70s. Here we are, 45 years later.
Rick,
so that's where we are.
All of this, these weapons, and that's what I would consider them, weapons.
Well, they're weapons. And by the way, they're off the shelf now, which means your neighbor can buy one. That means targeted individuals does not have to be military and the expenditures of having through-wall surveillance. By the way, that is where through-wall surveillance originated, was from our initial studies in the 0.3 to 3 gigahertz.
Let's talk more about that when we come back. We're talking about weapons that are being used against us to program us. Dr. Richard Allen Miller, DocRam.com.
Hunters, anglers, campers, and survivalists. Get back to nature. Expand your horizons with the highest quality, most versatile, unique slingshots and sling bows on the market at slingbow.com. Sling bow products are compact and models start from just $17.98. They're perfect for your bug out bag or storing in your vehicle. Give yourself and your loved ones the excitement and tradition of sling bow. A new frontier in archery and truly modern twist on this primitive survival tool. Feel the thrill only at slingbow.com. So you've got to take a state construction license exam or certification. Can't decide on what books or what chapters to study? Discover right now how you can eliminate unnecessary books and wasted study time. At contractorexam.com, our study materials zero in on state-required test topics in an effective, multiple-choice format. So whether you're a plumber, electrician, general contractor, or other construction-related trade, contractorexam.com will help get you prepared. Visit us at www.contractorexam.com today.
You pick up the receiver. With your heart racing and sweat dripping from your forehead, you finally muster the courage to dial the number to call into your favorite talk radio show. It rings once, twice, and then...
Hello, it's GCN. What's your name and the state you're calling from?
Surprised you got through, you squeak out.
Jason from Minnesota.
Please hold.
As you patiently wait for your turn, you begin to daydream about being a famous talk radio host and what it would be like to have your own show.
Jason from Minnesota, you're up.
Millions of loyal listeners worldwide waiting to call and talk to you.
Caller, are you there?
Cheering crowds surround you, calling out your name.
Jason! Jason!
Going once, twice. Okay, we gotta move on to the next caller.
You blew it.
Huh? Wait, no!
Interact with the hosts you're listening to right now online at GCNlive.com. Click on the community link. Engage with other listeners. Ask questions. Start debates. Don't agree with the host? Let them know. Be a part of the community at GCNlive.com.
Hey, Berkey Guy here. Are you still drinking unfiltered tap water? Does your water contain chlorine or fluoride? Will you have drinkable water in an emergency? The Berkey Guy is here to help you remove these and other potential contaminants from your water, thus helping you drink clean, purified water. We offer Berkey water purification systems at the lowest available prices online. Don't go another moment without Berkey system. Over the last 10 years, we've helped thousands drink clean, purified water. Join them by visiting goberkey.com or call me, the Berkey Guy, at 877-886-3653. That's 877-886-3653.
Does being over 40 make you feel like half the man you used to be? Do you feel more tired, out of shape, not in the mood like you used to be? Thanks to an exclusive formula, you can help boost testosterone levels safely and naturally. Introducing Ageless Male, a life-changing supplement for men tested to help increase testosterone levels.
You'll notice a boost in your energy levels. Workouts work. Sex life improves. It's like a light switch goes on.
Try Ageless Male risk-free if you would like to experience what taking Ageless Male can feel like. Support for healthy, normal testosterone levels, healthy energy, and increased performance, and more romance when you want it.
Call 1-800-327-4821. That's 1-800-327-4821. 800-327-4821. 800-327-4821. That's 1-800-327-4821.
KDArmor.com is your one-stop shop for the most affordable body armor period, with packages starting at $169.99 and free shipping on every order. Why would you go anywhere else? KD offers soft armor and rifle threat rated armor up to level 4. Go to KDArmor.com and get your body armor today while you still can. Mention this ad and receive a free water purification kit for a limited time with any body armor package. Go to KDArmor.com. That's CATI Come and take it.
Did you know that drinking pure, high alkaline water is one of the most important factors in maintaining high energy and vibrant health? Most experts agree that the water you drink should be at a pH level of 8 or higher. AlkaVision Plasma pH drops, available only at alkavision.com, combine a unique formula of only the most alkaline minerals. AlkaVision Plasma pH drops alkalize your water, ridding the body of harmful toxins, and helps you regain health and energy. Alkalizing your water by simply adding 10 drops of AlkaVision Plasma pH drops helps the body rid itself of acidic waste, increases oxygen content, and raises the pH of your body to healthy levels. And bacteria and viruses cannot survive in an alkaline high pH environment. Order your bottle of AlkaVision Plasma pH drops for only $29.95 at alkavision.com. That's ALKAvision.com. Or call 269-409-1776. 269-409-1776. Alkalize your body. Supercharge your health at alkavision.com today.
Class, just a reminder, you've got to meet up on Monday. Meet up on Monday at Jimmy's Egg, 4:45 to 8 p.m., Springfield, Missouri. I will be there. And it's just going to be me on stage for the entire duration. We're going to be talking about preparedness and the new sense of urgency. We're also going to be talking about this kind of technology and the threats that we perceive that it can bring to you and your family. Mike in Tennessee, you're on with Dr. Richard Allen Miller. Welcome.
Hi there. It's Stan Barabbas and Grace Thorne that have joined me. I sent you an email with Joey because apparently he was in contact with Joey. He had gone through Reedsport on his way down to Shasta in California, and Joey told him about the deployment of that new weapon up in the north end. He apparently just marginally avoided it. Lucky.
Great. Well, we're glad they're with you, Rick. Mike in Tennessee, you're on with Dr. Richard Allen Miller and me. Welcome. That's Mike Parsons.
Good morning, gentlemen. I just wanted to touch on what Dr. Miller was talking about, and I recall back during the Desert Storm operation in Iraq that they were able to get the Republican Guard, who were battle-hardened warriors who've been fighting in the Iraqi war for 10 years. They fought tanks. They fought helicopters. They weren't afraid of anything, certainly not dying. But they walked out of the desert with their hands in the air, with their rifles up, and surrendered. Because
a big pile of rifles, 2 GIs standing near the bunker, and a couple hundred would come out. That was Commander Solo. And they used that in the second Iraqi war as well. That was with the first Bush when he first went in. That is the weapon that is the first ordnance used before any bombs or aircraft will be Commander Solo.
Right, and I don't know if this is correct, but I was told by someone involved that they were utilizing the AM and FM radio stations. They took them over and were, as opposed to using an aircraft to transmit, they were using the local transmitters that were there already for the radio frequencies and cell phone towers. And so that was another means to deploy that weapon. And they say it goes back to that silent weapons for quiet wars technology that was launched back in the 60s.
That was used in Vietnam when they would play the radio with the woman saying, "Give up GIs, da-da-da-da-da." It has evolved into something far more creepy.
And one thing that people need to know is that everywhere people are being bombarded with psychological conditioning in the prisons, they will repeatedly say, lay down, lay down, lay down, give up, give up. And when you go to these church meetings, the preachers will always end it with, you put yourself here, it's your own fault, get over it, do your time. In other words, submit, don't fight. And this is brainwashing to the nth degree, and you can go throughout any community and you will find people, when you try to explain to them about the corruption in government, they'll say, what are you going to do? You know, these people are programmed to defeat you, to marginalize you, and to shut you up. They may not be doing it intentionally, but they're doing it all the same, and other people around that are listening, everybody seems to have this desire to be popular, and as opposed to going with the truth and standing against the wrongfulness that's going on, they will turn their head and walk away.
Mike Parsons, I've got a question for you. Now, you broadcasted in Memphis, correct? Memphis, Tennessee?
Correct.
Okay. Have you been in the radio station? Have you been at the radio station broadcasting?
Yes.
Okay. Now, maybe you can relate to this, and maybe you can put an exclamation point on what I'm about to say. I used to broadcast at a radio station in Springfield, Missouri, one of the most powerful in Springfield, Missouri. They claim it would cover 97 counties and extreme range would hit 6 states. It's an old station built in the 1930s. Massive antenna system, massive ground plane, and it's AM. This radio station, when I used to broadcast from the station, I would see the equipment in the middle of a room, the actual communications equipment, and there was a switch that would literally, if this switch were flipped, would transfer control from the local radio station. You know, those employees who were there that I would work with, the men and women who operated this enterprise, over. Flipping the switch would turn it over to the federal government. Literally. One switch. Now, it's probably even more automated than that. Maybe the federal government can transmit a signal which would flip that switch on all radio stations. I don't know, but I have a feeling that we're probably that close. That being the point, have you seen anything like that where you were, Mike?
I have a reference. I'd like everybody to get a pencil and paper and write this down. The book I'm reading right now was given to me by a county commissioner candidate called The Social Order of the Slum. It's Ethnicity and Territory of the Inner City by Gerald Stuttles. And what I posted on Facebook a couple days ago is Lawrence Kohlberg's Stages of Moral Development, and how the United Nations, this is their primary protocol. Right now we're in stage 5 of 6 stages of change in how they take over and control massive cities. And the lithium deployment is the next stage on how they're going to do this. This Lawrence Kohlberg, Kohlberg, Lawrence Kohlberg, Stages of Moral Development, or how they change the moral attitudes of going from the individual to the greatest good for the greatest number. It's creepy how they're doing it in stages, and there it is, the social order of the slum and how they take control.
So Mike, did you see this particular switching technology at the radio station?
I was never shown it. I was never shown that, but I was told that it did exist.
Okay. Now, there you go. So, Rick, here we have Mike Parsons was told that the radio station where he broadcasted, by the way, that is the same WMQM, same radio station that USA Prepares is on at during the evenings. He heard that switch exists. I saw the switch in Springfield, Missouri. Rick, that switch, can that be used to deploy this Commander Solo technology across the United States?
They tried to use HARP. It didn't work. That was one of the first applications of HARP and why they put one down in Adelaide just in diametric opposition to the one up in Alaska. It didn't work. And one of the reasons why the European Congress was so adamantly against the use of HARP, because HARP's bandwidth frequencies are precisely the same that were used in synthetic telepathy, 0.3 to 3 gigahertz. Now that very narrow band, what that does is it causes the temporal lobe to heat up in your brain. And as such, then that piezoelectric crystal begins to ring, and then you can heterodyne audio on top of that in a lower bandwidth frequency as a heterodyne, and you can actually hear voices in your head. It has been used for the deaf. It is used now for through-wall surveillance and a number of different applications, the creepiest of which is cloning emotions like they might deploy lithium, where they can change the group consciousness with a single radio band. Now, that's why every single city now is ringed with cell towers. That's the first application is communication. The second is as a weapon of communication. The third is as a control mechanism. And as you look at Lawrence Kohlberg's stages of moral development, it is precisely what the United Nations, your New World Order, your Illuminati, whatever you want to call them, is using. And when, like I said last week, when Hillary Clinton, which now everybody's saying she's the most electable, when she is a fait accompli, when she is elected president, she will appoint her criminal husband, Bill Clinton, to run the United Nations. And then you will have the single most important couple in the world reporting directly for the Bushes. And that one I posted in terms of the JFK assassination up to 9/11, and nothing, that video I posted a couple days ago, nothing we're being told is real. This is worse than the Dark Ages.
Rick, you mentioned 0.3 of a gigahertz to 3 gigahertz as the bandwidth. 0.3 of a gigahertz equals 300 megahertz. 300 megahertz is the third harmonic of the FM radio band. The reason I'm mentioning that third harmonic of the center of the dial, 88 FM to 108 FM, that's megahertz, 88 megahertz to 108 megahertz, 100 being in the center there. Rick, what I'm asking you is that third harmonic of FM or the AM frequencies, can that be used to deliver the Commander Solo technology to absolutely confuse us?
I don't know. I haven't done the testing in 40 years, so I don't know yet. I would assume that there is a high likelihood it could be used as a sideband control for sure. Whether or not it can deliver the message, I don't know.
And what we're talking about,
unpublished.
Rick, what we're talking about is 50,000 watt radio stations across the country. We're talking about television stations about the same power or more power. We're talking about, those are already
satellites.
in place.
You forgot satellites. Let's not
forget. Well, then there's cell towers. And then there are these clandestine police relay stations. I mean, I uncovered one. Mike Parsons, he's on the phone with us right now. He and I were looking at a farm, and we saw this shack. We saw this, like a storage shed with an antenna sticking out of it. And we looked at it. We did a little bit of investigation, and we found out that little communications shack is a police communications tower. No sign, no indication of what it is, just there, hidden in the woods. We found it. Literally, we found it. And we found out what it's for. So there are towers all over the place. We'll be right back. By now you know that USAPrepares.com is your source for water filtration systems. Here at the farm, we use our water filtration system for drinking, cooking, and for our cats and dogs. Which brand are we using? Well, that would be the ProPure system, because it filters out pathogens, microbes, chlorine, and fluoride. Multiple sources indicate that fluoride is responsible for lowering our IQs by 5%. Now, how many of you would like to sign up for a lower IQ? USAPrepares.com offers ProPure water filtration systems and accessories at the same price as everyone else, except we offer an instant rebate. We buy them by the pallet loads and pass the savings on to you. And if you're outside of Missouri, there's no sales tax. And if this appeals to you, visit USAPrepares.com. That's USAPrepares.com. You can order online, and we have the ProPure water filtration systems in stock, ready to ship. USAPrepares.com. ProPure water filtration systems at the same price as everyone else, except we offer an instant rebate.
Silver has always been nature's very own antibiotic, and only one system allows you to produce an endless supply of nano-sized silver solutions right from the convenience of your home. Silver Lungs. With the addition of our unique lung delivery system, respiratory infections are targeted directly, where traditional oral administration simply cannot reach. This pioneering method also preserves the original particle sizes and delivers your silver solution directly into the bloodstream. See the Silver Lungs generator and lung delivery system at silverlungs.com. That's silverlungs.com.
This is Dan Pilla. Do you owe the IRS money you can't pay? Are tax debts crippling you? I've defended people from the IRS for over 30 years. I've helped thousands, and I can help you too. I wrote the book on IRS settlement, and I'm telling you, there's no such thing as a hopeless case. Call 800-34-NO-TAX to finally get free of IRS debt. With the IRS's new programs, there's never been a better time to solve your problem. Call 800-34-NO-TAX. That's 800-34-NO-TAX, or my website, danpilla.com.
Don't complain about your cable bill going up and up and up. Do something about it. Grab a pencil and jot down this special number, 1-855-905-MY-TV. The more cable TV rates go up, the better digital satellite TV looks. Say goodbye to the cable guy and get more of your favorite channels in 100% digital quality for less money. Call 1-855-905-MY-TV. Sign up for packages starting as low as $19.99, and there's no equipment to buy. You get free HD TV upgrade, a free DVR upgrade, and free professional installation. You control what you watch when you watch it. Record your favorite shows. Pause and rewind live TV. Even skip the commercials. Watch local channels too. At just $19.99, what are you waiting for? Pull out your major credit or debit card. Call 1-855-905-MY-TV. 1-855-905-MY-TV. Say goodbye to the cable guy. Cut costs and get more. 1-855-905-MY-TV. 1-855-905-MY-TV.
Are your Google search results killing you? Unflattering content in blogs, news articles, online reviews, social media, or other sources can jeopardize your reputation, your business, and your livelihood. Let Reputation.com help. Our patented technology will make the truth about you more visible while pushing down unwanted negative content. Improve your Google search results. Call Reputation.com at 1-800-831-0771 for a free consultation. That's 800-831-0771.
You're fired. According to the Small Business Administration, 75% of small businesses plan to eliminate jobs or reduce workers' hours to part-time. You're fired. According to Gallup, the unemployment rate recently jumped to nearly 9%, and the underemployment rate hit a staggering 17.9%. You're fired. 1 out of 3 young adults and 1 out of 2 recent college graduates are underemployed. Hello, I'm Keith Abel, a pharmacist and a home business entrepreneur. In 2011, I became one of those statistics myself. Instead of looking for another job in corporate America, I joined Dr. Joel Wallach, the Dead Doctors Don't Lie guy, We're creating steady incomes for ourselves and would like to show you how to do the same. If you want to supplement your current income, replace your income so you don't have to become one of the statistics, then give me a call toll free at 866-257-3105, 866-257-3105.
You're fired.
Don't wait till you hear those words. Start creating an extra income today. 866-257-3105.
Owe $10,000 or more to the IRS?
Get on board with the Tax Admiral. Don't pick on the IRS alone. I'll cut penalties and reduce your overall tax bill. Sometimes I can even get it zeroed out completely.
We're an A-rated company helping people clean up their mess with the IRS.
If you owe $10,000 or more, then call the Tax Admiral.
Call 800-287-7180. Again, that's 800-287-7180. 800-287-7180.
Dr. Richard Allen Miller is with us. Mike in Tennessee. Mike Parsons is on hold. And I just wanted to say one thing quickly. I did a quick antenna search. This is antennasearch.com. Antennasearch.com. You can do this. And I typed in Grants Pass, Oregon, and it needed a street. So I typed in 1 Main Street. I just made that up. So, Rick, from the address of 1 Main Street, Grants Pass, Oregon, there are over 213 addresses matching the antenna search. That means over 213.
The state of Jefferson. Realize that some of those are John Connors all dug in out there. But, you know, we have a lot of John Connors here. We also have a lot of Ku Klux Klan. We have it all.
Well, you also have a lot of antennas.
Oh, yeah. Try 6th or 7th Street. Those are the two primaries that go through Grants Pass, one each way. 6th Street is southbound, 7th Street is northbound. They have cameras. You can get a camcorder and see what traffic online on those streets. They have cameras, so you can actually see at different blocks who's going through there on a 24/7. Thank you, old military. I noted that some of the states now are requiring the police departments to return, tanks and bazookas and things that they don't need for homeland security. But I can tell you that everyone is concerned because there is unrest in every corner of the world today. Everybody's upset. One thing or another is not right in the way they want to live. And that is a prescription for World War. And the movie I said, from JFK to 9/11, the real conspiracy of what's going on with Rothschilds and the Bushes, it runs it down historically, starting with Hoover, President Hoover. And so I'm going to suggest that we have a program going on right now that the United Nations is running. Right now with Agenda 21, they can withdraw your national rights. How does that work?
Rick, we've got Joey in Michigan on. Joey, welcome.
Joey.
Hey, good morning, guys.
Hi.
Hey, Rick, tell me a little more about John Lilly. I hate to switch subjects, but I'm just curious.
John Lilly believed that the dolphin had a language more complex than man. That's why they brought me in originally. Well, he was into the altered states. Yes. He worked for the military. Yes. I was not privy to any of that. I was working under Sagan, which is a different group, and he brought me into the lab. I was there only 10 days at Berkeley.
The float tank he worked on and he created, what was the purpose of that?
Altered states of consciousness, like the movie that What's-His-Face did, where you go back into a primordial thing. You require noise in order to function, whether you create it or it's coming in from the external world. The point of a float tank is to suggest that it's all coming from inside, and the physical world isn't really real. You create that with your imagination and belief systems. Now, the float tank is a type of non-drug using the brain's drugs, natural drugs, of lysergic acid, amide, dimethyltryptamine, and hyphen dimethyltryptamine, specific neurotransmitters that could be used to manipulate consciousness. You turn this up a little bit, you turn that down a little bit, and now what you have is paranoia. You turn this up a little bit, you turn that down a little bit, now you have ecstasy. And in fact, that's where MDMA and some of the original amphetamines came out of in the original studies with crooks like Bill Osley. And Bill, at that time, was working with, yes, he was, working in Berkeley also. How does that all work? Well, Berkeley at one time was, Livermore, and all of that whole area was where the military dug in. The only other two places was Wilmington, Delaware, and Seattle, Washington, where I was. And that was the Boeing Scientific Research Laboratories in South Park that later then moved to Kent and became the Space Center.
Hold that thought, Rick. We're going to be right back after top of the hour news and commercial announcements. Dr. Rich, how many of you want to learn how to dig up bugs, worms, and raise crickets for food? Do you prefer to eat them dried and crunchy or while still alive? Well, you won't have to if you can defend your food supply from predators. You may want to get an AR-15 kit from guns80.com and build your own AR-15 rifle from a kit. If you can legally own a rifle, you can purchase this AR-15 kit. If you're handy, you can complete the rifle in about an hour. The kit comes with all the parts you're going to need to build your rifle, but you'll need a drill press. And survivalists need one anyway. The Guns80.com team purchased the same used floor-standing drill press that I have for $100. You can too. And when you're finished, you'll have a paperwork-free AR-15 rifle, a drill press, drill bits, and the knowledge to maintain your AR-15 rifle, all for less than you expect. So if you want a paperwork-free AR-15 parts kit like mine, visit Guns80.com, Guns80.com, and let the unprepared have our share of the bugs.
Are you tired of commuting to a job that makes someone else rich, working harder than ever, but getting nowhere? Do you hate spending hundreds of dollars every week on daycare, having someone else raise your children? With our opportunities, you can start earning money as soon as next week. You get to be the boss, work from home, and live a happier life. At Be the Boss Network, you'll find hundreds of work-from-home opportunities that you can literally start today and be earning money as soon as next week. Go to freedom106.com and start earning money as soon as next week. You get to be the boss. Get out of the rat race. Work from home. Go to freedom106.com right now and change your life today. That's freedom, the number 106.com. Go to freedom106.com and start earning money as soon as next week. You be the boss. Go to freedom106.com.
So you've got to take a state construction license exam or certification. Can't decide on what books or what chapters to study? Discover right now how you can eliminate unnecessary books and wasted study time. At contractorexam.com, our study materials zero in on state-required test topics in an effective, multiple-choice format. So whether you're a plumber, electrician, general contractor, or other construction-related trade, contractorexam.com will help get you prepared. Visit us at www.contractorexam.com today.
Paid non-attorney spokesperson Adam Pileski of the Pileski Law Firm with principal office in Houston, Texas is the attorney responsible for the content of this ad. This ad is not legal advice, and the choice of a lawyer should not be based solely upon advertised services may not be available in all states. Attention Xarelto users. If you or a loved one took Xarelto and suffered a serious bleeding event, you may be entitled to financial compensation. Xarelto is a popular prescription blood thinner used to prevent blood clots and protect patients from strokes. These serious bleeding events have led to numerous cases of hospitalization and even death. Phone lines are open 24/7. Call 800-261-0937. That's 800-261-0937.
Everyone all set, cocked, locked. Hour number 2 of USA Prepares.com. Dr. Richard Allen Miller's with us, the real Fox Mulder of the X-Files. Mike in Tennessee is on hold. Joey from Michigan had some questions for Doc Ram, docram.com. Joey, please continue with your question, please.
The reason they use the Epsom salts in the tank, the 800 to 1,000 pounds, I know it's a little bit for flotation, but is it like maybe to change the alkalinity of your body that would create a different frequency
It acts as a conductor, yes, and will interface with specific microtubules, yes, for transfer of information on the external part of the body, yes. Internal part, that's new physics I have not yet studied. And I'm going to guess that there is a resonance cavity oscillation process using Epsom salt for pH, yes. That would be the direction I'd look at if I were managing that project. I am not. But I don't have a lab anymore. I'm just an armchair physicist. But with said that, laboratory-wise, that'd be the next direction to go. We did those studies in anesthesiology at the UW early on with acupuncture. That's where the microtubule construct first came out, even before Hammeroff was out of school. So that was Dr. Black, Dr. Burgess, and Dr. Peter Winters. And so I was there when we did it. I don't know what's really going on. I am basically attempting to try to connect dots in a sea of disinformation. There's a lot of it out there, and I'm easily snowed. However, what my gift was is that when I did come to a fork in the road, I instinctively, because of my future talking to my present, always knew which direction to go when I hit a fork in the road. And believe me, there are lots of forks out there. I'm telling you, man. The whole thing is going to be twisty weather and cow pies out there. And you have to be kind of careful because what we're dealing with now is resonant cavity oscillation physics, which is what I'm an expert at. And I have to tell you, you can talk to organs like microorganisms talk to each other. It's called quantum computation algorithms. I mean, we have something going on here that we haven't really described that is important to realize something else is going on. And then when you add the fourth genome of blood types, alien invention and or invasion, I mean, I'm left with, I'm telling you, something's wrong here, and we're not getting the big picture, and it's time everybody begin to wake up. And here's the thing, we're God's favorite. We can turn off the synthetic telepathy. We do not have to follow either your creepy parents' teachings and lessons on how to be a pedophile or a gambler, or that it's being programmed from outside. You do have the ability to change that movie. That's what I'm writing about right now, how to do it physically.
Yep. It's important to keep a more alkaline body then, correct?
Absolutely. 8.4 is what you're seeking for the intake of water. Not 7.0 like well water. What you want is an 8.4. You do not need anything above 8.4. That is where it comes out of bone marrow. What you're trying to do is the water you're taking in, you want it to be useful right out of the gate.
How do you achieve that? What kind of tool do you use to create that water?
You can use light. A lot of people are using a vortex now, where they vortex it into an exclusion zone. You can do it with long ultraviolet. That is the primary way that's been out there on the market for a while, using long ultraviolet. Not Grolux, little bandwidth beyond the Grolux range, getting into long ultraviolet. That place will activate. It's always about light. Light is the key word here, predicated on what your definition of light is, and I'm using that now as a physicist in certain bandwidths going, from ultraviolet to infrared. Infrared's heat, but it's still, to some extent, visible. You see something glowing. It has a sense to it. You have resonances that are talking to each other in different patterns going up and down that scale of electromagnetic frequencies. So, and you have bacteria. That's an interesting thing. I had a guy call me yesterday, a couple days ago, where he is now in touch with an organized group of bacteria in his body trying to take over his mind. Is that real? Well, I'm going to say this to everybody. I think our imagination is what's creating our aliens and our apocalypses. And, Navy included. So, with that said,
Rick,
you have responsibilities for your thoughts you choose to entertain. You can put energy into smut. Go for it. See where it takes you with chocolate. You know, each has
Rick,
outcomes
I just went...
and, you know, consequences.
Rick, I just went to eBay. Hey, thank you, Joey. I just went to eBay.com and I looked up long wave ultraviolet lamps. So for about $22, they have one. Are you suggesting that what we can do is place this adjacent to a glass of
you know, like
glass of water?
Prayer is a high-end frequency band, and when you sit around the table and you say grace, you have just restructured the water around you. They call it the intentionality experiment. That's incorrect. It's not about intentionality. It is about imagination and how a psyche is brought into matter. The relationship between psyche and the physical world, which, by the way, is not real.
Rick, we've got, believe it or not, we've got 5 USAPreparers.com instructors on with this class. You, that Miles from Europe just joined us. Joey, Mike.
That man does not have rights. He has responsibilities, and you are responsible for the thoughts you choose to entertain. That will become your reality.
Good morning, gentlemen.
Miles, welcome.
Good morning, Dr. Rick. How are you doing? Good morning, Joey. Good morning, Vincent.
Well, how do you think I'm doing? I'm all uptight. How's that sound?
Well, you sound way better than last week, so I'm very happy to hear that you're huffing and puffing again.
Well, they dusted us last week with all kinds of creepy chemtrails, Navy included, up in Reedsport. You know, they're doing lithium now.
Well, I know they're doing actinium here and lithium as well, so...
you can taste it. I gave a talk in Ashland last Friday night that had a big fallout. Everybody's starting to get it. And I'm looking in the sky right now. There it is. What's real and what's not real. Kids don't even know what a real cloud looks like anymore.
You're right. And so I thought I joined the Nerd Club today on that radio broadcast just to share my 2 cents on that. I had an extensive talk yesterday with Joe and a little bit with Vincent about the topic. And from my point of perception, I see that we are being ramped up in the transhumanist agenda with all that's raining down.
We have an Avatar 2 now. Did you know that? There is an Avatar 2 prototype. So here we go.
And what's coming down here is to create a nervous system in a human body to basically attach the heavy metals, barium, strontium, and other metals to the nervous system, and turn us into a walking computer. So basically,
chip implant group, hive consciousness.
Yes, exactly. And so they don't need an IP address for a phone or something like that. They just have your DNA IP.
This Lawrence paper that I just sent you guys on moral changes, how you change where the group mind is more important than that's the Borg, and resistance is futile.
Yes. By the way, the philosophic background to that is the fable of the bees. For the ones who want to go into the philosophical approach of it, fable of the bees. It is the beehive mind. And all the leading scientists in the beginning 19th century...
This is your new world order. This is the whole concept of group mind and transnational corporations, where they're bigger and larger and more encompassing than a nation is.
That's exactly right. That's why they turned everything into a business, because
we must stop this nonsense now.
The law of conquest through corporations has been rampant since 1800, and they just refined it to a perverse grade that we witness here. We're living in fantasy land. Nobody out there would think what's going on because the grass is still green, the trees are growing, and we still have cows on the pasture.
Well, I don't know about you, but every single ponderosa I can look at out my window is dying. It has brown needle. That is impossible. There it is. It's not bark beetle. something else is poisoning all of the trees in southern Oregon, literally.
Let me freak you out a little bit, Doc. We had in the last 3 weeks our vets doing lab blood analysis of 10 cats of 10 different farms, and sheep, goat, calf, and cattle that was butchered. And we had drawn blood samples, a drop of blood of each, and we had them put under a dark field microscope in order to find out whether they're infected with mites or morgellons. It turned out that all samples returned positive.
Yeah, that's nematode, by the way, or at least that's my path direction I have chosen as instinctually, that I think that is a new form of nematode. And we have nematode. You can get rid of nematode. It's easy to eliminate. The Center for Disease Control has not yet named it. Why?
Well, because they're making money of it. It's a wonderful symptom to treat by doctors. Why should they do that? It's a money-milking scheme.
Silver is a good place to start. You know, I'm going to say that the Mendeloff's periodic chart is actually going to evolve into a series of resolutions of the way each metal forms itself and behaves differently from a colloidal state into a nanoparticle state. And I'm going to suggest that there's going to be a new set of periodic tables, a set of them, holographic, resolution, having to do...
Hold that thought. Rick, hold that thought. Miles, stay... By now you know that USAPrepares.com is your source for water filtration systems. Here at the farm, we use our water filtration system for drinking, cooking, and for our cats and dogs. Which brand are we using? Well, that would be the ProPure system, because it filters out pathogens, microbes, chlorine, and fluoride. Multiple sources indicate that fluoride is responsible for lowering our IQs by 5%. Now, how many of you would like to sign up for a lower IQ? USAPrepares.com offers ProPure water filtration systems and accessories at the same price as everyone else. Except we offer an instant rebate. We buy them by the pallet loads and pass the savings on to you. And if you're outside of Missouri, there's no sales tax. And if this appeals to you, visit USAPrepares.com. That's USAPrepares.com. You can order online, and we have the ProPure water filtration systems in stock, ready to ship. USAPrepares.com. ProPure water filtration systems at the same price as everyone else, except we offer an instant rebate.
My name is Bill Bonner, and I'm the president of the largest private news and research network in the world. And I paid for this airtime because I have an important message to the American people. There's a change coming that the government isn't telling you about. This change has deep implications for life in America, from where you shop to the doctors you visit and the family you want to protect. Look, I've made predictions like this before. Thing is, I was right then too. A few years ago, I warned that housing prices would collapse. They did. Before that, I warned that .com companies would crash. They did. Those who listened had a chance to save themselves. But this has nothing to do with the stock market. This will affect us all.
You can watch the video for free right now by going to $downfall.com. Again, that's $downfall.com.
Owe $10,000 or more to the IRS? Get on board with the Tax Admiral. Don't pick on the IRS alone. I'll cut penalties and reduce your overall tax bill. Sometimes I can even get it zeroed out completely. We're an A-rated company helping people clean up their mess with the IRS. If you owe $10,000 or more, then call the Tax Admiral.
Call 800-287-7180. Again, that's 800-287-7180. 800-287-7180.
For over 5 years, you've been hearing about the Berkey guy, so you may know a few things about him. For example, you are well aware of the superior quality and effectiveness of Berkey water filters and accessories. But did you know the Berkeys have had independent lab tests done to prove just how effective they are? It's true, and he can email you the test results. Just visit GoBerkey.com. You may also know that the Berkey guy has helped tens of thousands of people get better prepared. Now here's something you may not know. GoBerkey.com has amazing specials and deals all the time on a wide variety of survival and preparedness products. Most ready to ship same day. Visit The Berkey Guy at GoBerkey.com and be sure to click the red Products on Sale Now button. You can always call toll-free 877-886-3653. Again, that's 877-886-3653. GoBerkey.com, home of The Berkey Guy.
If you're like me, you're concerned about the stock market and the economy. You're asking the questions, but it just doesn't seem that you're getting the right answers. Well, my friends at the Wealth Preservation Institute not only have the answers, but they've put together a free report, How to Survive the Upcoming Economic Collapse and Protect Your 401ks, IRA savings, and retirement income. Don't hesitate. This report's for free for a limited time by calling 888-772-2929. That's 888-772-2929. Take back your financial lives today.
That's Dr. Richard Allen Miller's with us. Mike Parsons is on hold in Tennessee. Miles is in Europe. Miles, you and Rick were talking about this mind control. We're talking about colloidal silver. And Miles, are you experimenting with putting colloidal silver in your cattle water right now?
Yes, we are having, actually we're doing two things with our cattle now. We are putting analyte in the water, you know that as Nixol, in a 2% solution. And we're adding to that the colloidal silver now for the cows and for the goats, as well as for the cats.
By the way, Miles, I could recommend that you might even consider an antibiotic substitute. Are you using antibiotics yet in your feedlots?
No, not at all.
Okay, because they do in all salmon production in North America, except Nanaimo and Skagway now. And so both of those feedlots are no longer using antibiotics in group tanks, where they have millions of fish in one tank. What we're using now is a mushroom that's easily grown, which has polysaccharides, the reishi maitake. We use the cordyceps, and it acts as an antibiotic substitute because of the oxygen and stimulating the adenosine triphosphate. ATP is where the animal, if you make your food chain healthy, you will become healthy. That is the correct way of called sustainability.
Well, you're absolutely right. But let me go back to the synthetic telepathy. This is MK Ultra on steroids, absolutely ramped up. And next year,
MK Ultra was before us. Then it was us, MRU. I have no idea what it's doing now. I can only guess it's still probably Navy. However, the synthetic telepathy came out of Alan Frey's work at Willow Grove, and then moved to our laboratories in Seattle, Washington.
Yeah, but what I'm very much concerned of is that they are changing our nervous system. They deplete us of the copper, and the nervous system.
That's exactly correct. They're called bioengineering.
Yes, the API, the bio API.
Yeah,
so they exchange the copper.
Yeah, we had a site-selective chip implant even back in the 70s. You could eat it, and it would automatically go to the correct place in the brain for insertion.
Yep.
That was site selective. We had that in the 70s. You could put that in the air as a deployment of weapon and program everybody. That's called a bio API. That's one of 18 different kinds of chemtrails I've now identified that are different. Each one slightly different from another. And the reason they're changing them is so you won't notice them as much.
Well,
they are doing all kinds of things. There are at least 8 different reasons why geoengineering is happening right now, the least of which is weather modification.
Well, we have in the blood samples that we put under a 72-hour survey with a dark field microscope, we have chips in the blood, microchips in the blood already of the animal. So I guess they are in the humans as well. And so my concern is here how to get the solution and how to counter that possible attack of that. I'm
currently using curcumin, which is a turmeric. I'm also using a metaphyllin that comes from brown algae. And metaphyllin and curcumin, or turmeric. Those are the two that I'm currently using right now.
What do you think of
vitamin D3?
Yep.
Listen, it's the light part that makes the exclusion zone water.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't have the vitamin D, you're not in control of your mind. Imagination.
Well, we here are on 50,000 IU per week, so we're pretty good with the vitamin D. But what do you think of glutathione?
I have to research that. I don't know it. That's a sugar.
Glutathione is responsible for the detoxification of the liver. It actually is the agent that increases the reproduction of vitamin C in the body.
Yeah, that might be interesting. I'll check that out. Thank you. Send me a link, please. Get me started.
Vincent, can you provide
a million links I got to look at just today. You have no idea. I'm trying to stay current. It's impossible. Thanks, Joey. Thanks to some of you guys that are trying to act like as a lead scout to me. I overwhelmed, and the more I detect, the creepier it gets.
So the bottom line here, Miles, you have seen the evidence through the dark field microscopes in cattle, cats, dogs, sheep, and goats, right? And now the question is it really in people? Obviously, we would think that it would be, right?
A revolution in body protection has arrived only at FortressSurvivalLLC.com. Introducing the revolutionary patented Level 3 Bulletproof Vest. 100% Kevlar, 100% American-made. Concealable, fully adjustable, and the lowest price on the market. Adult size normally $289.99, now just $250. Kid size normally $239.99, now just $200. Get affordable protection with a Level 3A Bulletproof Vest from FortressSurvivalLLC.com. For thou art my rock and my fortress. Psalm 31:3.
By now you know that wireless technology like cell phones do in fact pose dangers to the health and privacy of everyone. Blockit Pocket's wide range of products are unmatched in providing the protection you deserve. No scare tactics, just common sense. BlockitPocket.com offers quality American-made options to alleviate and eliminate these invisible dangers. Learn more at BlockitPocket.com or call 888-315-9618. BlockitPocket.com, enhancing health and privacy.
The Genesis Communications Network is one of America's premier broadcasters of captivating talk radio. We thank you for listening. Now, just imagine, there are thousands of people who are just as passionate about radio as you are. But what you may not realize is how easy and affordable it is to advertise with us. Radio commercials for your business could be heard on hundreds of radio stations across the U.S. every day. We can help you by creating an effective radio advertising campaign for your company. From script writing to producing your commercial, just like the one you're listening to right now. No other network provides the level of customer service we do. When it comes to radio advertising, we are your one-stop shop. And no matter how big or small your business is, we can help. Email us at advertise@gcnlive.com, and an experienced advertising executive will help you take the first step towards driving more customers to your business or website. Advertise@gcnlive.com. Easy, affordable, effective.
Attention USA Prepares listeners. When you're on the road or have limited data or Wi-Fi, now you can listen to USA Prepares unfiltered and untapped at no extra charge on this non-federal phone number, 1-605-477-3249. Try it now to listen to USA Prepares 24/7 at no extra cost or data charges. These are not on federal lines. These are lines located on Indian reservations off the grid. Call 1-605-477-3249. No smartphones or internet needed. To hear USA Prepares untapped and off the grid, just call 1-605-477-3249.
Earthquake, floods, winter storms, prolonged power outages, or war. Each of us have had that moment when we recognize that we need to be better prepared. We typically do the same thing. We start with food storage, then we address the need for water. But have you considered heat storage? I'm talking about staying warm in the cold. Here are some things for you to consider. How will I keep my family warm? The standard answers are firewood, coal, or propane. But the problem with that, if you need to be on the move, is you can't take it with you. Another concern, there may come a time when you need to stay warm without smoke, like in times of war. There may even come a time when you can't burn fuel. The answers may be simpler and less costly than you think. For these answers, go to FortressClothing.com. Again, FortressClothing.com has the answers to your heat storage dilemma. Don't get stuck in the cold. FortressClothing.com. You'll never be cold again.
There are hundreds of silver products on the market today, but there's nothing like the astonishing health benefits of the multi-patented One Silver Solution. Boost your immune system at a great price with our Silver Solution Liquid, starting at $12.95 a bottle. Now available in regular and extra strength. That's half the price of the leading competitors. Call 844-USILVER for your free catalog, or go to OneSilverSolution.com. OneSilverSolution.com. There is only one Silver Solution.
This is a healthcare alert from the Pain Relief Hotline. If you, a family member, or a loved one suffers from knee, back, shoulder, or ankle pain and have Medicare as your primary insurance, we've got great news. You don't have to suffer any longer. You can immediately qualify for a pain-relieving brace at little or no cost to you by calling our 24/7 Pain Relief Hotline at 866-389-0620. Delivery is free and all paperwork is handled for you. If you are on Medicare and have knee, back, shoulder, or ankle pain, don't wait. You can qualify to immediately receive a pain-relieving brace at little or no cost by calling our 24/7 Pain Hotline now at 866-389-0620. Our representatives are standing by 24/7 to take your call and rush you your pain-relieving brace at little or no cost to you. Shipping is free and all paperwork is handled for you. Just call 866-389-0620. That's 866-389-0620. Again, 866-389-0620.
Dr. Richard Allen Miller's with us. Mike in Tennessee is on hold. George in New Hampshire is on hold. Miles in Europe is with us. And I'd like to share this with our class. You know, for a long time there's been a tactic in war, and that is to wound rather than kill. And so for each wounded warrior, it takes two or more to care for that person. It makes them non-competitive on the battlefield. Well, synthetic telepathy has wounded us in large numbers. So for proof, just go to the supermarket and see how many of us are having trouble just walking around. It's getting worse by the minute. Miles?
Yes, you're right. It is cloning emotions, depression, and all of it.
Gentlemen, I have to let you go in a couple of moments, so please let me finish with one thing I want to let you leave with. And this is, number one, if you go to certain Walmarts, they created zones, or Targets even, they created zones where you can experience the
circle. That's correct.
Yeah, you can experience the synthetic telepathy. And just to make clear what kind of gravity it has for every single one of us is, if you prepared canned meat for the apocalypse and they turn us with a synthetic telepathy into a notebook computer, you will not have the option to use what you have been stacking away because simply your mind will not work.
Yeah, and the moral codes of belief systems that they would instill on you compared to the ones you have right now. The difference between Hobbes and Kant and natural and civil law.
Miles, let me just ask you a quick question about that. Are you suggesting that is why some of us cannot find things that we've put away for preparedness reasons? Meaning we just can't find what we've planned to use, and that will get worse. Is that what you're saying?
That might be the case because with a ferromagnetic nervous system, you tend to forget things because the way how the nervous cells are firing will be changed, and they will simply not fire the way how you stored things in your brain in the past. And just to put an exclamation point on that is the BBC in Great Britain has already the proto project where you can change the TV program with your thought. This is live in Great Britain as we speak. And the next generation TV sets coming out in summer on the International Technology Fair in Berlin will all be equipped with that technology already. So be aware, technology from this point on will be weaponized towards you. And with that, I'll let you go, gentlemen. I appreciate you for having me, and you have a great day. Talk to you the next time. Thank you.
Miles in Europe, thank you so much. Miles is a senior USA Prepares.com instructor. George in George in New Hampshire. You're joining us.
Hi,
Welcome.
Vincent. Hi, Rick, and the rest of the staff.
Hi there.
Hi. I just noticed you said, Dr. Miller, that about being overwhelmed. As I can understand, as you're looking into this pit and you're seeing things, it really attacks you on so many different levels psychically, among others. We're being attacked physically as well. Remember how it said in the Bible that you will neither fear the pestilence that comes by night or the arrow that flies by day, because in words the effect, it won't come near you, because 10,000 to the right of you will fall 10,000 to the left. What I'm saying is that there's a very simple observation method. It's antidoteforall.com. And there's a man right there in Grants Pass who wrote a book, and you might be familiar with him. If not, I can make an introduction. Finding God in Physics. And what it is we're being attacked psychically, physically, on so many different levels. Our spirits are being wounded. But I believe that, just as you said, Vincent, that we can't find things we put away, I'll bet you'll also agree, though, when you think of something that would be nice to have or that you need, and I think Dr. Miller will agree and the rest of your staff, sometimes inexplicably it appears.
That's your internal landscape. That's where it all starts, is taking responsibility for the thoughts you choose to entertain. That's how it works. And that's what made us favored, because we have choice. You know, when my half-full glass fell over the table and broke, the way I looked at it was, when I looked down at this broken piece of glass, oh, my glass is half fixed.
Okay.
It's an attitude. And when you do that, it changes things. Literally.
But it's very hard to be still and know.
Training the mind, not letting it run as an unruly child. That is correct. Discipline.
What do you think, Vincent?
You know, like
George, as I think,
somebody jogs or rides a bike. When I was with Matt at the Kansas City Matt would go running every morning. Started getting at me for sitting too long at my computer. He's right. You have to address all of the issues, including your body and its needs. Exercise.
George,
that's where it starts.
To answer your question, George, what I found is a number of people whom I talk with a lot of people off the air, a lot of people. What I do on the air is just a small portion of the communication that I'm involved in. And what I'm finding is that many of our instructors at USA Prepares are overwhelmed with the number of things that are going wrong in their lives. And it can be just simple mechanical things. It can be simple hydraulic things. But a lot of them are temporarily able to be showstoppers. Like for me, on the field, a hydraulic leak is a showstopper until I fix it. Yesterday, a bolt failing in a mower, a heavy-duty mower in a field was a showstopper, and that's a showstopper until I fix it today. That's what we're seeing. And you combine that with these other threats that are around us. Okay, so where did I put those other bolts, the spare bolts that I have ready to fix this particular problem? I know I have spares, but I'm drawing real life experiences into this discussion. That's what I'm seeing. Are you seeing the same thing, George?
Well, yes, I've noticed is that I think spiritually as a nation, as we diminish, I've noticed that the quality around us of our lives, our relationships, and even just between so many different groups that we're being divided. And I will say this too, Vin. I did find out, I think, a possible solution to the hose situation. Not that I want to get off of the channel. I'll just say aeronautical hoses. I had a man tell me this. I mentioned your problem to him, and he says, he goes, it has binded stainless steel inside, and it's of a much ruggeder construction, and he said he uses it on all his vehicles. He goes, aeronautical. They use it in the airplanes where, because of the altitude, the pressures, and the harsh environments, they have to stand up much strongly. I don't know if you considered this, but I will say this. I'll leave it with this, Vincent. I appreciate your time. I'll just say that we've all heard screeching brakes, and we all cringe inside saying we don't want to hear the smash afterwards. And do you ever notice the vast majority of the time you don't hear the crash because by some miracle, so many things seem to be avoided. But increasingly, I feel that we're turning our backs away from the Almighty, and we're going in a direction that, like a child wandering into a dark wooded area as his father's calling him from a road, he doesn't realize there's a wolf waiting in there. Just when he gets totally out of sight of his father, it's going to strike. And that's where they're headed. And you know it and I know it, but I think God is banding us all together, yourself, Dr. Miller, Joey. Oh, and just on a lighter note, I want to say, there's a deplorable lack of respect for Dr. Miller. Instead of calling him Ricky Rocket, I think it should be Dr. Ricky Rocket. I'm sorry. Okay, I'm sorry. Hey, God bless, guys. It's a pleasure as always. God bless.
Thank you so much.
Well,
Mike
she
in
has
Tennessee?
the right to call me Ricky because she's older than me.
You're talking about my mom.
Yes.
My mom loves you. My mom adores Ricky Rocket. And and I don't know where that came from. But that was
in lust. No, I'm just kidding, Vincent.
Mike in Tennessee, Mike Parsons. You had some questions?
Well, I'm just a spectator at this point, but the solution you touched on and danced all around, and that's frequency. And if you notice, all of these naturopathics that are being eliminated, they're all touching on frequency as a solution because the frequency kills these pathogens. And, of course, the last guy, I would have to disagree. There's never been a case where a wild wolf has ever killed a human. However, more children die annually from parasites, including what is the worst one out there, Craddock filarius. And
yeah, really. Yeah.
Our sustenance is being eaten from within. And of course, as you mentioned about the disinformation, prior to the Trail of Tears, they took the Cherokee chiefs up to Washington and stood them on the mountain and said, behold, miles and miles of cannon ready to take on the Cherokee Nation, but if you will just walk this way, we will let you go in peace. And of course, what they were showing them was all the cannon from the Revolutionary War that were broke and useless. It was a trick. They didn't know any better, and they believed that the threat was there. And as Dr. Ron Paul said yesterday, they got more guns than us, that's true, but they don't have people to pick them up. There's more of us than there are of them. And as your friend Einstein once said, he doesn't fear the people that are out there, committing all the crimes. It's the people that sit back and do nothing about it that he fears. It's time to wake up. It's time to get up off the couch and engage in some capacity. And then this is just for your entertainment and educational purposes only. And these are all hypotheticals brought to you by Mike from Tennessee.
Mike, it's always great to hear your voice, and you bring a very interesting perspective. And you're talking about the Trail of Tears, and you're talking about the illusion of wholesale massacre. And the Indians back down. The Indians back down because of the illusion.
How you doing?
And, there are more of us than there are of them. The only problem is their team has some really scary weapons. We'll be right back. How many of you want to learn how to dig up bugs, worms, and raise crickets for food? Do you prefer to eat them dry, crunchy, or...
I got over 380 email yesterday.
If you can do we have... Is this signal going out over the air? Or...
You're talking to me.
Okay, I was talking to Trevor. Trevor, are the commercials going out over the air, or is the... If you're handy, you can complete the rifle in about an hour. The kit comes with all the parts you're going to need to build your rifle, but you'll need a drill press. And survivalists need one anyway. The Guns80.com team purchased the same used floor-standing drill press that I have for $100. You can too. And when you're finished, you'll have a paperwork-free AR-15 rifle, a drill press, drill bits, and the knowledge to maintain your AR-15 rifle, all for less than you expect. So if you want a paperwork-free AR-15 parts kit like mine, visit Guns80.com, Guns80.com, and let the unprepared have our share of the bugs.
Hi, I'm Dr. Sam Nussbaum with the Anthem Foundation.
Premature birth is the leading cause of death of babies and disabilities for children. That's why we support the March of Dimes to help mothers have full-term pregnancies and healthy babies. Join us in supporting cutting-edge research, treatment and outreach to help moms during their pregnancy and give every baby a healthy start in life. Learn how you can help at marchofdimes.org.
So you've got to take a state construction license exam or certification. Can't decide on what books or what chapters to study? Discover right now how you can eliminate unnecessary books and wasted study time. At contractorexam.com, our study materials zero in on state-required test topics in an effective, multiple-choice format. So whether you're a plumber, electrician, general contractor, or other construction-related trade, contractorexam.com will help get you prepared. Visit us at www.contractorexam.com today.
Do you lay awake at night and worry about the health and safety of you and your loved ones? Do you wonder what would happen if you weren't able to get to a hospital or doctor? How can you keep your family safe against the deadly pathogens that are beginning to emerge in the world today? Give yourself peace of mind with Supernatural Silver. Supernatural Silver is turning heads around the world as a new weapon in the fight against bacteria, viruses, and fungus. Supernatural Silver can be taken internally or used topically to help the body's own immune system fight off disease much more effectively. Supernatural Silver has been tested at independent universities and laboratories around the world and has been proven to be safe and highly effective against some of the planet's deadliest pathogens. There is no better product to have in your home for daily use or emergency preparedness. Go to supernaturalsilver.com, use the code SILVER2015 for 20% off, and give yourself and your loved ones a fighting chance with Supernatural Silver.
I am a 47-year-old female and had a heart attack in 2005. This is Alice from New Jersey. I still get angina, even with 4 stents. I was taking nitro 2 or 3 times a week. The very first day after taking Heart and Body Extract, the chest pain was gone. Now I don't wear a nitro patch.
Learn the secrets of an effective, natural, 100% organic nutritional supplement for a healthy heart and circulation at hbextract.com.
Don't complain about your cable bill going up and up and up. Do something about it. Grab a pencil and jot down this special number, 1-855-905-MY-TV. The more cable TV rates go up, the better digital satellite TV looks. Say goodbye to the cable guy and get more of your favorite channels in 100% digital quality for less money. Call 1-855-905-MY-TV. Sign up for packages starting as low as $19.99, and there's no equipment to buy. You get free HD TV upgrade, a free DVR upgrade, and free professional installation. You control what you watch when you watch it. Record your favorite shows. Pause and rewind live TV. Even skip the commercials. Watch local channels too. At just $19.99, what are you waiting for? Pull out your major credit or debit card. Call 1-855-905-MY-TV. 1-855-905-MY-TV. Say goodbye to the cable guy. Cut costs and get more. 1-855-905-MY-TV. 1-855-905-MY-TV.
CatieArmor.com is your one-stop shop for the most affordable body armor period, with packages starting at $169.99 and free shipping on every order. Why would you go anywhere else? Katie offers soft armor and rifle threat rated armor up to level 4. Go to CatieArmor.com and get your body armor today while you still can. Mention this ad and receive a free water purification kit for a limited time with any body armor package. Go to CatieArmor.com. That's CATI Armor.com. Come and take it.
Class Dr. Richard Allen Miller's with us. Mike in Tennessee's with us. And if you'd like to go to Richard Allen Miller's website, it's richardallenmiller.com, Richard A-L-A-N, Miller.com. And that's the place you can peruse and find his books if you'd like to buy them. Rick, the final thought of this segment I'd like to address with cell phones, Bluetooth, cell towers, wristbands. I'm talking about the wristbands that communicate your health status, television, radio, all of the programming.
Medical alert. Yeah.
Yes, medical alert. Put all this together.
DNA for your history. Like now they're wanting a DNA sample so you can do your family tree better, and that will all be DNA collecting of everybody.
Mm-hmm.
There's your mind control.
My concern is this technology can be used for the the final solution, the mass extinction of we the villagers, because many believe there are just flat out too many of us, and the defectives, I believe, want to kill us. I really believe they want to kill us.
The NASA documents, like the weapons after next, for the war after next, it's this NASA document runs it down chapter and verse. We're going to have some physical changes to the geography of the Earth. The earthquakes, the volcanoes, the coronal mass ejections from the sun all suggest that, the desalinization of the ocean. We are at the end of the sixth epoch. Here we are. And that's a book by Greg Bear that you could read called Epoch, How It Works as a Science Fiction Visionary. He's excellent. However, that's an interesting sci-fi book, Epoch. He wrote another one called Aeon. That's another interesting book. After the sixth epoch, what happens next? With that said, here we are at the end of days. And we have choices on how we're going to exit. Because we're all going to exit at some point. And you have the right, not the right, the responsibility. It will eventually become a right as you become more aware. Having rights would include full disclosure. You don't have it. So you no longer have free will or true rights. What you have are responsibilities. And you want to be
let's address just one simple piece of this. Cell phones with blue, cell phones with
like cigarettes in less than 10 years. They're toxic.
And Bluetooth. Cell phones connected to Bluetooth.
Trouble. You've got it up, transmission in the first zone. It will alter brain pattern. Will do it. Is doing it. You're playing Russian roulette when you wear a Bluetooth. Literally. For stroke and brain damage.
Rick, so for those who...
I mean, that's...
For those who...
Yeah.
For those who think I'm nuts.
No, you're not nuts. They're toxic like cigarettes are. They did cigarettes for 40 years before people got a clue that they were toxic and had to have a warning label on it. Same thing with cell phones, Bluetooth, and related technology. If you carry it down in your pocket, you're gonads. You're never going to have children again. Fact.
We are having more defective children than ever before. The threats are very serious. And so, Rick, my question is, am I nuts by withdrawing from the cell phone community? Not using, not ever.
When you didn't have that, how did your life work then compared to how it is today? That's a good measure. Has it enriched your life or changed it?
No. Cell phones have become an enormous distraction. I think it is one of the
word. Distraction from your purpose.
Yeah.
Hey,
imagine
look
trying.
Over here. ISIS is beheading some people. Hey, children, look over here. Fukushima is dropping on the West Coast today. It's happening. Now, what's important is how you manage your internal landscape. The way you choose to see what's happening. You have responsibilities for that. That's what will become the reality. Your aliens and your apocalypse are all coming from imagination.
From my take on this, I suggest all of our class consider buying a farm and getting away from high-density population centers. Rick Miller, thanks so much for being with us. RichardAlanMiller.com, RichardAlanMiller.com. By now you know that USAPrepares.com is your source for water filtration systems. Here at the farm, we use our water filtration system for drinking, cooking, and for our cats and dogs. Which brand are we using? Well, that would be the ProPure system, because it filters out pathogens, microbes, chlorine, and fluoride. Multiple sources indicate that fluoride is responsible for lowering our IQs by 5%. Now, how many of you would like to sign up for a lower IQ? USAPrepares.com offers ProPure water filtration systems and accessories at the same price as everyone else, except we offer an instant rebate. We buy them by the pallet loads and pass the savings on to you. And if you're outside of Missouri, there's no sales tax. And if this appeals to you, visit USAPrepares.com. That's USAPrepares.com.
You can order online, and we have the ProPure water filtration systems in stock, ready to ship. USAPrepares.com. ProPure water filtration systems at the same price as everyone else, except we offer an instant rebate.
Earthquake, floods, winter storms, prolonged power outages, or war. Each of us have had that moment when we recognize that we need to be better prepared. We typically do the same thing. We start with food storage, then we address the need for water. But have you considered heat storage? I'm talking about staying warm in the cold. Here are some things for you to consider. How will I keep my family warm? The standard answers are firewood, coal, or propane. But the problem with that if you need to be on the move is you can't take it with you. Another concern, there may come a time when you need to stay warm without smoke, like in times of war. There may even come a time when you can't burn fuel. The answers may be simpler and less costly than you think. For these answers, go to fortressclothing.com. Again, fortressclothing.com has the answers to your heat storage dilemma. Don't get stuck in the cold. fortressclothing.com. You'll never be cold again.